Welcome to our webinar, Disruption in AEP, Cross-Selling Opportunities with GTL, with GTL's Greg Esposito and Ames Don Erickson. Today's webinar will be recorded and then later posted on our website. This does mean that all attendees will be automatically muted so that we get a quality recording. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat box, and we'll try to answer them throughout the presentation. But if we're unable to get to all the questions, we'll have a member of our marketing team reach out to you individually to make sure you get that answered. And with that, I'll hand it over to Dawn so that we can go ahead and get started. Take it away, Dawn.
Thank you, Jordan. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. It's that time of year. Thanksgiving's here, and we're always thankful for everything we do have and very blessed for everything I personally have with our family. We're more than blessed, I'll say that. Today, we have a special guest, being Thanksgiving, the senior gobbler from GTL, the Assistant Vice President of Sales, Greg Esposito, is going to join us here. We're going to be going over the opportunities that are available this AEP season and all year round, really, with GTL. But there's a lot of disruptions going on. We all know that. But going with Med Advantage and Med Sup plans leaving the market, rate increases for supplements, there's just so many things going on. But there's such a opportunity for cross-selling different products, especially with what GTL's plans have to offer. And I really appreciate Greg coming on this morning and going over this stuff. It's you can't beat it. And so with that, you're going to make more money. The products are there. So kind of with that, Greg, good morning. How's it going?
Going well, Don. Looking forward to Thanksgiving, and appreciate being here. And thanks, Jordan, too, for the getting things going. And everyone tuning in, appreciate your time today. I know it's a crazy busy time of the year, but so let's get right into it. Let's talk about some products that are going to be great cross sells during AEP and even after AEP. That's one of the beautiful things about all the GTL plans that we're chatting about today. You can sell them year round. Also, I'll throw this out there right away. You do not have any other type of requirement to have a certain type of insurance in order to apply for a GTL plan. So any of the plans that we chat about today, if your client's interested in applying and they're in the issue age range, they can certainly apply. They don't have to have Med Advantage. They don't have to have Medicare Supplement. They don't have to have ACA plans. So just kind of keep that in mind. Getting started, if you're not familiar with GTL, we have been around for quite a long time, since 1936. We are based in Glenview, Illinois, and mutual insurance company, really strong AM Best rating, A excellent, and things have been going very, very well at GTL for quite a long time. If you have a client that somehow says, well, who is this GTL you speak of? You want to mention that we basically create ancillary products, complementary products, I think, would make a little bit more sense to them. And we're actually kind of the leaders in this space, and we'll chat about some of these spaces today. So what could we say to clients? Well, GTL's kind of a leader in complementary products, meaning when you have your main insurance, health insurance, and you use it, if you've got a deductible or a copay or some kind of large out-of-pocket expense, generally GTL has a product that can help take care of that. So that's really what we do at Guaranteed Trust. We're going to hit on some of those cylinders today that we have that you can go ahead and chat with your clients about. Something else that we have, yes.
Well, one other thing to add to that, you don't need you don't need all these certain trainings, AHIP, certifying for all this stuff. So I get the question that they ask too when they're cross-selling. Do they have to have a scope to do the next appointment to talk about it, or can they talk about it while they're doing their Advantage plans or something? I know we talked about it before, but I want to make sure that they're good to talk about that while they're at their appointment instead of having to do a scope for a next or set up a different date to talk about it.
So the main product that is cross-sold during a Medicare Advantage appointment is definitely the hospital indemnity plan. And if you're going to chat hospital indemnity with your client at that same Medicare appointment, you definitely want to have that scope of appointment form taken care of. There's a spot to initial by hospital indemnity plan box or supplemental health products box. With regard to some of the other plans, you're definitely not going to be chatting about a life plan, like final expense plan at a Medicare Advantage appointment. But I would just say hospital indemnity, you're always going to have that scope taken care of, and then look at that actual scope of appointment form under supplemental health product and see what it has there for some of these other products. That would be kind of my way to definitely determine what you can chat with them about. Yeah.
Perfect.
One of the things that we like to do at GTL is make it easy for you to cross-sell these plans. We know you don't have 15, 20 minutes to explain what a hospital indemnity plan is, or a cancer plan, or a short-term care plan. So what we like to do is create these very short 2-minute videos that you can share with the client. Does a lot of the cross-selling for you, and then you can tidy up with some details that they need to know, run up a quote, all that stuff. So we're going to share some of those videos with you today to show you how powerful they are. I know Don and I were speaking before the call started today about how great these videos are and how they're really wonderful to use with the clients. And I definitely would highly recommend that you do take a peek at these. Some of our plans, like our cancer plan, we even have a separate website that both you and your clients can go to. And besides the videos, what you're seeing in the middle of your screen, we create these things called infographics, which if you're not going to play the video, they're great to share with the client, kind of walks them through a little bit about what the product has in short order, and even sometimes an example of how the product works. Working with GTL, super simple. We've got e-applications that work either on a tablet, a smartphone, Apple or Android, and a website platform. So if you're with the client, I recommend doing the e-app platform. You're going to download GTL e-app onto your tablet or your smartphone, open it up, do the quote, do the app, client signs the e-app screen with their finger, and you're done. If you're not with the client, go to GTL's website, log in. You can use the same login and password that you set up for your tablet or smartphone e-app, and then you can do the sale virtually. And when it's time for them to sign on the dotted line, since they're not with you, you can do the one-time PIN. Basically pop in their mobile phone number. It's going to instantly shoot them a 5-digit code. They tell you what it is. You put it into the e-app, and that's how we verify that they want to apply and they're good to go. So it's very simple to work with GTL. And in case you are wondering, we do still take paper applications. We don't get a lot anymore. It's about 10% of the business, but that's also an option. And if you do happen to run into somebody that doesn't have a smartphone or doesn't have it with them and you're trying to do that app, we still have our old verification call that you can dial an 800 number, conference them into, and they can do a short verification call as opposed to the one-time PIN or as opposed to signing your tablet or smartphone screen with their finger. So really easy to work with GTL. First plan, hospital indemnity. Many of you know about what a hospital indemnity plan is, but let's kind of talk a little bit about it and get into some GTL details. First thing is generally cross-sold to folks with Medicare Advantage. As they use their Medicare Advantage plan, they got co-pays for hospital confinement, ambulance, all these different types of things they can use their plan for. They got co-pays. You can design their hospital indemnity plan from GTL to cover those co-pays, in most cases, exactly. So you can tailor it to their specific Medicare Advantage plan, the hospital confinements, so that when they have these issues where they go into the hospital, they got these co-pays for Medicare Advantage, they can get the money from GTL, and usually somewhere between $20 to $35 a month, depending upon what you're trying to do, set up the hospitalizations, maybe add an ambulance rider. That's usually the premium that we're looking at. A little bit about GTL. We've been the leader in this hospital indemnity space for the past 20 years, which is exactly the amount of time it's been since GTL created our hospital indemnity plan. Our latest one, called Advantage Plus Elite. In Florida, it's called Indemnity Plus Elite. The latest market data I have is GTL has a 75% market share in the hospital indemnity space. So we are the leaders that everybody chases. But as Don and I were chatting about before, there's so much room in this space for others to compete that there's really room for everybody. We think we're the best. However, just keep that in mind. Also, we've had 0 rate increases in the past 20 years. We've also never taken away any type of policyholder benefits, reduced them, nothing like that. So in terms of experience, we have the best experience to chat about in the space. Issue age for this plan, 40 to 85 in just about every state, and also guarantee issue, 64.5 up to 75 in most states. There's still a few that are 64.5 to 70. We're still working on those, but for the most part, this is going to be guarantee issue for folks 64.5 up to 75. And the beautiful thing about our EAP platform is you're never going to be able to apply for something that's not available in your client's state. So it's real easy to work with the EAP platform and know that you're applying for coverage that is available. So let's do a little motivation here for you in terms of who will buy this product and should I take some time to talk to my clients about it? First off, only 1% of the folks that have Medicare Advantage have a hospital indemnity plan. So the world's wide open to you to cross-sell this plan. And agents have been telling me for the past 20 years that they have about a 70% closing rate when they bring it up. So Don and I, over the years, have come up with these amazing cross-selling ideas for hospital indemnity. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing is if you bring it up, you will most likely buy it. The other thing that's great, you can really build a nice block of renewals for yourself. The average hospital indemnity plan at GTL is on the books for 8 years, and we pay first-year commissions and renewals for the life of the policy. There are some newer competitors out there that we've noticed that are not paying renewals for the life of the hospital indemnity policy. So you'll definitely want to take a peek at that stuff when you're choosing which plan to cross-sell. So let me show you the short video on this, and you can see how it really would work very well to introduce the clients to the plan during your Medicare Advantage sale.
So, you just enrolled for Medicare Advantage health coverage. Great choice. Did you know there is additional coverage you can add to protect you from the out-of-pocket medical expenses you are still responsible for? Help fill any gaps in coverage and strengthen your financial protection with a hospital confinement indemnity insurance policy from Guarantee Trust Life Insurance Company. Since 2005, GTL's industry-leading hospital indemnity insurance has been helping clients lower or completely eliminate their net out-of-pocket expenses stemming from Medicare Advantage copays and deductibles after a hospitalization event. Coverage is affordable and pays you directly based on your time in the hospital, regardless of any other healthcare coverage you have or where in the U.S. you receive care. Your potential out-of-pocket costs could be for a variety of services, including ambulance trips, outpatient therapy, critical accidents, and more. GTL's hospital indemnity insurance allows you to customize your coverage to help cover these and many others. Let's see a quick example on how it works. Meet Beth. She is 65 years old, and her Medicare Advantage coverage leaves her responsible for a daily hospitalization copay of $300 per day for her first 6 days in the hospital. Knowing she would be responsible for her high copay, her agent helped her customize and apply for a GTL hospital indemnity insurance policy. Beth's new policy provided a restorable 6-day benefit period of $300 per day for less than $25 per month. A few months later, Beth suffered an illness that kept her in the hospital for 6 days. Her GTL hospital indemnity insurance kicked in after the first 6 hours of her stay. Beth received $1,800 directly from GTL for her hospitalization, which she used to completely cover her Medicare Advantage copay. Instead of worrying about how to pay her high copay, Beth could focus on her recovery without a financial setback. You shouldn't have to worry about covering out-of-pocket medical expenses. So now is a great time to think about GTL's hospital indemnity insurance.
So great video there. I want to give you a tip on prospecting too. A lot of folks, a lot of agents will take the link to that video, put it on social media with maybe a sentence that says, if you've got Medicare Advantage and you're looking to reduce your out-of-pocket expenses to zero, watch this video, give me a call. Something like that works well. Also, some agents after AEP will email their clients that don't have hospital indemnity but do have Medicare Advantage, and they'll send a quick little email just to reach out saying, hey, just reaching out to make sure you got your new Medicare Advantage coverage, your ID card. plan's working well for you. In the second paragraph, when we met, we talked about some copays you'll experience when you use your Medicare Advantage plan. Watch this short video. This plan's been around 20 years, really helping a bunch of folks. So if you're interested, you can call me up. I can even give you a quote and sign you up over the phone. Different ways to prospect for hospital indemnity if you're not going to do it during a Medicare Advantage appointment. So there you go. So what's a common objection that some folks may give you when you start bringing up hospital indemnity? They may say something like, hey, you know what? This Medicare Advantage sounds great, and I don't have to pay a premium for it. Why are you trying to talk to me about another plan where I have to get a premium? So let me give you a great example to share with them. So let's just name that person Mrs. Smith. You talked to her about hospital indemnity when she signed up for Medicare Advantage and she just decided not to get it. So let's say down the road, she had to take an ambulance to the hospital, and then she was in the hospital only for one day, but those are her Medicare Advantage copays that you see on the screen. So ambulance trip, 1 day in the hospital, $550 she has to pay out of pocket. Now, if you would have tried to sell her a hospital indemnity plan that, let's say, would have covered her 6 days in the hospital for $300 per day, that was what her Medicare Advantage hospitalization copay, would have been. Maybe had an ambulance rider that would have given her $250 every time she takes an ambulance to the hospital. Just with this 1 day and one ambulance trip, how would that compare to her buying that hospital indemnity plan that you offered to her? So if she was 65 when you offered it to her, the cost would be $320.55 for the entire year. So when you look at it in this scope, that's a lot cheaper than $550 for just that one hospitalization event. Beautiful thing about the hospital indemnity plan from GTL is when you buy it, your premium stays the same as you get older. So her rates do not go up every year. But even in this example, I popped this on there with the 80-year-old. If they 80-year-old bought it at age 80, they're going to pay $509.20 a year, and it's going to stay that rate as they get older. That still even makes sense in this example. And you can use your hospital indemnity plan over and over again. The base plan restores after 60 days of no hospitalization. So you can use it many times throughout the year, which clients really like. And then there's no limit on the amount of money they can get in claims from GTL. So we actually have clients that have gotten over $100,000 in claims from GTL just for their simple, affordable hospital indemnity plan. So this is a plan that really can help save their bank account. Moving over to a cancer plan. GTL has one that's really solid and nobody else has anything like it. When we talk lump sum cancer plans, they're kind of a dime a dozen out there. So when GTL creates a product, we like to create one that's a little different, got some bells and whistles that nobody else has. Our Precision Care cancer plan is just that. It's a lump sum cancer plan, just like everybody else has, but then we built in a genomic sequencing benefit into it, which is really a big deal. Not only is it a genomic sequencing benefit that is great to have done, that testing if you're diagnosed with an internal cancer, but the genomic sequencing that GTL has set up is done by the leading laboratory for genomic sequencing called TGen, based in Arizona. So the Precision Care Cancer Plan, lump sum plus genomic sequencing included, issue ages 18 to 90, so a really widespread issue age range here. Let me show you a very short video that talks a little bit about the genomic sequencing. But basically, this genomic sequencing is a test that tells the doctor the exact type of cancer that you have, and TGen looks at their database for people who have had that type of exact cancer, what treatment was best for them, and then has a one-on-one call both with the policyholder and the policyholder's doctor to give them that information. Really cool, and it's actually saving lives.
This is your DNA. With a diameter of only 2 billionths of a meter, this unfathomably small molecule controls everything that makes you, you. From your individual cells to your physical appearance, to even how your body reacts to cancer. Everything about you is determined by your unique genetic code. Due to the incredible complexity of your genetic makeup, you have heard that prescription drugs or exercise plans may not always work the same for you as they do for others. So then why would treating cancer be any different? Guaranteed Trust Life Insurance Company is partnered with TGen, the Translational Genomics Research Institute, a nonprofit pioneer in genome sequencing and precision cancer treatment. Precision Care Cancer Insurance is designed to help policyholders faced with a cancer diagnosis afford and have access to groundbreaking treatment advancements which may not be covered by other insurance. Precision Care gives policyholders access to TGen's world-class cancer physicians and to TGen's cutting-edge genomic sequencing services while providing cash to pay for these services and the high costs of today's specialized cancer treatment. Your first shot at treating cancer is your best shot. Place your trust in GTL to help provide what you, specifically you, need along your journey. This is GTL's Precision Care Cancer Insurance. Insurance that's uniquely designed for you.
One of the great things about the product is that it's really going to help your client make sure that they get the best treatment for the specific type of cancer. I could share an example very close to home. One of our sales managers a few years ago, right after we launched this product back in 2016, was diagnosed with an internal cancer. He got the genomic sequencing done, and not only did it say the type of medication to use for that specific type of cancer that he had, it also showed that the research was if you had that cancer and you started radiation or chemo, those patients died within 4 to 6 months. So the specific medication it said to use was Keytruda in this example, which is an IV that you get every 3 weeks or so. They did that treatment, they did the surgery, they followed up with 15 more sessions of Keytruda, and thankfully he's been cancer-free for the past 6 or 7 years. So getting the genomic sequencing done, it is the science today. And a fun fact here for you too is you definitely would like to use TGen if you have cancer and you have this plan. But if you do have this policy and you get diagnosed with cancer and you get genomically sequenced somewhere else, GTL will cut you an additional check besides your lump sum of $6,000. So you win either way. TGen's the best, but if you happen to use a local laboratory, you can also get an extra benefit. So cross-selling this plan, let me give you a couple opportunities here to how do you get this conversation started. A lot of people don't think about cancer insurance until they get diagnosed, or they're really worried because they think they have the symptoms and they're about to go see the doctor. So unfortunately, that's when they may pick up the phone and call you and ask for a cancer plan. But let's see what a good way is to, over the next few months, when you chat with your clients, how do you bring this up? Here's a good way. What company is your cancer policy with? It's a very generic question, kind of almost leading or inferring that they should have one already. And we'll kind of take this conversation a couple different ways. We'll see where it can go. So we say, well, what company is your cancer policy with? Well, they're probably going to say we don't have one. They may say, why in the world do we need a cancer policy? Don't I have cancer coverage under my main insurance? Something like that. And here's why I differ a little bit from some other things you may hear. I don't tend to go towards statistics. I like to use personal examples. And in mine, I could just say, well, you know what? Some of my friends over the past 3 years have had cancer, and I've seen how the treatments have taken them away from their work, really affected their finances, even though they still had health insurance. And, a response would be normal. They're going to think about friends they know or relatives that have had cancer too, and they'll reflect upon their experience, as opposed to you saying, did you know 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer, where they're probably just going to say, well, hopefully it won't be me, and move on. Okay. They may also say something like, oh, you know what, we've already got this insurance, that insurance, homeowners insurance. car insurance? Do we need more insurance? So how do we combat that? Well, you say something like this with precision care. What if I showed you some cancer coverage that if you didn't get cancer, you could get all your premium money back, but if you did get cancer, you could get up to $50,000 in a lump sum. That's pretty hard to say no to. A lot of people don't know about a return of premium rider, and this one does have that on there. So that's definitely a way you can work into that subject. Here's another way. Let's just start off again with what company is your cancer policy with, and you're expecting we don't have one, and they say, oh yeah, we've got one with ABC Insurance Company. And now you're like, oh man, Greg didn't tell me what I'm supposed to say here. So, well, here we go. Let's do it. So, great. I'm so glad to hear you have a cancer policy. How long have you had it for? And they may say, well, 5 years. Why? Why do you ask? This is what's so cool about the Precision Care Cancer Plan. You could come back and say, well, I should take a look at that coverage you have to make sure it has a genomic sequencing benefit built in, which you know right now it doesn't, because GTL is the only one that has that. And what are they going to say to that? They're going to say, well, what a genomic benefit? What in the world are you talking about? And you just say, hey, a genomic sequencing benefit, it's a test that you definitely need to have if you're diagnosed with an maternal cancer. It's going to tell your doctor exactly what you have and exactly the best results for people who've been treated for that type of cancer. So you don't have to get real deep into genomic sequencing. Just let them know this is really going to help your doctor know how to treat you. So when you get into a cancer plan, don't get too deep into the weeds with genomic sequencing and feel like, I don't want to bring that up. It sounds, like way too much to explain. It's just super simple. The client doesn't have to go through any additional testing. All they do is when you're about to be diagnosed with cancer, generally if they found something, they're going to take a biopsy. They take that initial biopsy, and that's what they use to determine if you have cancer or not. That biopsy is going to be sent to TGen in Phoenix. They will do their testing on it. So the client, when they get this Precision Care Cancer Plan, and they unfortunately get diagnosed with cancer, they don't have to go through additional testing, additional biopsies. It's just very simple for them. So it's a great plan to talk to clients about. And, so not just for Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement would be great too, even ACA folks. A lot of people, unfortunately, getting cancer. This is a great plan to have, and it's pretty simple to get. There's just 5 application questions, and basically, have you had internal cancer in the last 5 years? So, good product to talk to them about. Another one that's really fun to bring up because people don't think about care down the road as much as they should. And if you've ever had to take care of a loved one, relative, mother, father, sister, it's difficult. So our short-term home health care plan, I love this plan. It's super simple to get. It's available from age 55 to 85. And this is going to be for care in the home. And the video is amazing and it basically sells a product for you, which I'll share with you in a couple minutes. But home health care, it's considered short-term care, which means you can only offer a year of coverage. So you've got 360 days of benefits, up to $450 per day for home health care, which is going to be like a professional coming into the home to do like physical therapy, occupational therapy, all these different types of therapies that a registered, certified home health care professional can come do. And then you've got 360 days of benefits for home health care aid, which is generally an aid coming in to help maybe with the basics, your ADLs, toilet transferring, grooming. And then the kicker to this product is the prescription drug benefit. You can get up to $900 back from GTL annually, which basically pays for 80–90% of the premium for this plan, which makes it so inexpensive for the client to have until they need it. And I should just mention right here before I forget, this plan is not just for down the road when you get really old and things don't work as well anymore. This can be used for temporary things like hip replacements, knee replacements, rotator cuff surgery. You come home from the hospital, you still need some home health care, you can use this one. So think it's not just for when you're really old. And the great thing is just a couple app questions to get it. I'm going to share that with you in just a little bit. You know what? So think about this plan. Let me show you the video, and we'll get into some target markets. first, just give you an idea where this product's approved. All right, let's take a peek at the video. Now, well, let's take a look at some target markets. I guess my slide was one out of order. If your clients are taking prescription drugs, you should talk to them about this plan. If they haven't planned for future care, meaning they don't have a long-term care plan, you should talk to them about the plan. Maybe they tried to get long-term care, couldn't afford it, couldn't qualify, talk to them about it. Here's some market you might not have thought of. Let's say that your clients maybe, 45, 50 years of age, but their parents are still around and they don't have a short-term or a long-term care plan. Well, who's going to pay for those parents' medical bills if they don't have the money to do it? It's going to be the kids. So sometimes the kids will get policies for their parents and pay the premium. And it's really easy to get this plan. I'm going to share that with you after you share the video. Here we go.
There's no bed like your own. And if you suffer an illness or have an accident, the last thing you would want to do is recover in an unfamiliar, hectic environment like a hospital or nursing home. Focus on your recovery in the comfort of your own home with short-term home health care insurance from Guaranteed Trust Life Insurance Company. Think about your family situation. You may be reaching that age where planning for future care is necessary, or maybe your parents are reminding you they don't want to go to a nursing home. How could being unprepared for either yours or your parents' need for care affect your finances and way of life? GTL's short-term home health care insurance is more affordable than most other plan of care policies, and it pays benefits directly to you regardless of any other insurance you have. Home health care benefits kick in if you suffer a cognitive disability or can't perform 2 of the 6 ADLs, and no hospital stay is required. The base plan consists of 3 main components, and there are 3 different base plans for you to choose from to match the level of coverage you want. With the home health care benefit, your chosen plan pays a benefit for up to 360 payments for a variety of services, including skilled nursing, physical therapy, and general nursing care. With our most comprehensive plan, you can receive up to $162,000 of home health care benefits. With the home health care aid benefit, you can receive a daily benefit for each day you require the services of a home health care aid, depending on your chosen plan, and no hospitalization stay is required. Most likely, you're taking at least 1 prescription medication. With the prescription drug benefit, you can receive benefits for any prescriptions that are filled after the policy is in effect. Just filling your normal prescriptions can help offset the cost of the policy itself. Now let's see how it works. Say you're 65 years old, have the plan A policy, and take 1 brand name prescription that you refilled 12 times over the year. GTL's short-term home health care insurance would pay you a total benefit amount of $300 over those 12 months, with an annual policy premium of $365.68. The net cost of the policy would be less than $6 a month. And this is not even including any home health care benefits you may receive. Policyholders also have access to TCare's concierge caregiver support services and a $3,500 family caregiver benefit. Short-term home health care insurance from GTL is flexible and customizable, with a great set of riders for you to choose from. And with only 2 or 3 underwriting questions, you don't have to worry about a long application process or medical exams. So, for a fair premium, wouldn't you rather receive professional care at home? Now is a great time to find out more about GTL's short-term home health care insurance.
There you go. So as promised, let's take a quick peek and see how easy it is to get this plan. So now you know there's 3 base plans: Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. If you want to get Plan A or B, you only have to answer the first 3 app questions, no. So real simple. Are you currently getting home health care or some type of similar care right now? If you answer that one no, you're a third of the way home. Do you currently have any issues doing your ADL? So you're bathing, dressing, eating, continence, toileting, transferring? No? Okay, you're 2/3 the way there. in the last 12 months have you been diagnosed with a cognitive impairment, memory loss, anything like that? Answer that no, that's it. You get the plan. So question 1, 2, 3, answered no, you get it. That is it. If you want plan C, you have to answer that fourth question too. So all 4 would have to be no. So let me take a second here and show you some fun stuff that's not in these questions that you normally see in these types of ancillary products. Don't see anything in there that says, did you just get out of the hospital? Did you just have a heart attack? Did you just have a stroke? Are you currently being treated for cancer? Are you diabetic? Not in here. So this plan is even easier to get than, say, a hospital indemnity plan where somebody's not coming in guarantee issue. So think about this plan in terms of folks that just can't afford long-term care. They don't even know about it maybe. Don't have the health to qualify for long-term care. This is a great plan, and as the video showed, it's going to be very inexpensive for them to hold when they're using the prescription drug benefit, so their net cost should be dollars monthly. Just to give you a quick idea, since we're not going into the full-blown explanation here today, if you're wondering how easy is it to get your prescription drug benefits from GTL, it's simple. Whenever they fill a prescription, wherever they fill it at, they just make a copy of the prescription receipt, you know, the one that shows their name, the pill that they got, how many they got, and when it was filled. They just mail that to GTL, and we send them $10 if it's a generic refill, $25 if it's brand name refill, and that's it. So it is super simple. So I'm going to get a little bit more into that T-Care benefit that was mentioned in the home health care plan within the Recover Cash plan, because it's on both. But if you said to me, Greg, what's the difference between your short-term home health care plan and any of your competitors? Well, a T-Care $3,500 family caregiver benefit, and even more importantly, the support for the family caregiver by calling T-Care. But we'll get into that more into this one. So what is Recover Cash? It is a more comprehensive short-term care plan. It's got that home health care that we chatted about. It's got assisted living and nursing home confinement care too. So issue age range 40 to 84. Just think of it as a more comprehensive short-term care plan than just the standalone home health care plan that I was just telling you about. So basically, you've got up to 360 days of benefits for being in a nursing home or assisted living facility. You can get up to $300 per day. With the home health care benefit, you can crank that up to $1,400 per week. So a large number. And it includes that T-Care benefit, $3,500 family caregiver benefit, got an inflation rider, get a little discount, 10% if you're doing the husband and wife at the same time. You do get a restoration. Like the key thing really that's nice about this plan is the fact that it's got the T-Care benefit in it, and you can design this plan however you like it. So at GTL, what do we see? And we see some folks that do a very low facility benefit for nursing home assisted living. Maybe they're doing $50 a day, and then they crank that home health care up to $1,400 per week, because that's really, if they're going to get care, they'd rather do it at home. And then we get others that go the other route, higher on the facility side, lower on the home health care. And then we get some, not a ton, but some that just blow the whole thing up, $300 per day max, $1,400 per day max. So you can make this whatever it is. We tend to see agents that sell long-term care. Those are the ones that are really, maxing out the coverage on this plan for the clients. Those who are generally selling Medicare Advantage, hospital indemnity, those are the ones that they're not doing as high on the facility side or the home health care. So keeping that premium, very affordable for the client. So a great plan. We can get into it a little bit deeper by showing you the video, and then pay particular attention to the kind of example of how T-Care can work.
With the rapid advancements in medical care, more procedures are being performed on an outpatient basis. While hospital days are shorter and recovery times may be quicker, many people will still need some medical care from professionals and additional support from family members during their recovery. Guaranteed Trust Life Insurance Company's Recover Cash short-term care insurance is designed to not only help you cover out-of-pocket expenses you may incur during your recovery, but also to provide support for your family caregiver, helping you along the way. Recover Cash's benefits are flexible. You can choose to receive benefits for nursing homes, assisted living facilities, or even home health care. When you choose to add home health care benefits, not only will you receive weekly cash benefits to help pay for the costs associated with home health care, but it will also include a $3,500 cash benefit and concierge caregiver support services for your loved one, provided by TCare. TCare was built by family caregivers with the belief that family caregivers need to be cared for too. With tailored action plans, tech-enabled insights, and comprehensive resources, TCare's state-of-the-art family caregiver support services are designed to help identify and prevent the all-too-common burnout family members experience when caring for a loved one. Now, let's see a quick example on how it works. Meet Phil. When Phil turned 62, Phil purchased a GTL Recover Cash policy with a $100 per day nursing home benefit and a $500 per week home health care rider for only $23.33 per month. When Phil turned 68, he suffered a stroke, which made it difficult for him to do normal daily tasks. He knew he needed additional help, but still wanted to recover at home. Phil's healthcare provider certified that he needed a licensed home healthcare practitioner to help with 2 of his activities of daily living. Phil realized he needed additional support beyond the professional care, so his only daughter Lisa started to help care for him. Phil used the $500 per week from GTL to help pay for his care. After Phil's home health care claim was approved by GTL, Lisa registered and went to TCare's caregiver assessment tool to help prevent burnout and identify resources in her community to help care for her father. GTL then paid Phil $3,500, which he gave to Lisa to pay for her gas and car repairs due to traveling to and from her dad's house every day. With the help of TCare's certified caregiver navigators, Lisa was able to take care of herself while taking care of her dad. Instead of worrying about his finances or his daughter's well-being due to his stroke, Phil was able to receive the financial support he needed from GTL and the caregiver support Lisa needed from TCare to help them on their journey. You shouldn't have to worry about the full extent of the financial or mental toll of short-term care for you or your family caregivers. So now is a great time to think about GTL's Recover Cash.
Something that I should definitely mention that you might not have caught in the first video on short-term home health care. TCare has been around for about 10 years, and so far they've been able to, from helping the family caregiver not get burnt out and help them find care in the area for the person that they're caring for, they've actually been able to delay that person needing the care being moved to assisted living or skilled nursing facility by 18 to 24 months. So when you think about the value of TCare, it's really twofold. You've got somebody, probably a family member, helping take care of you. They're stressed out. They don't know where to turn to get more help to help you. They're stressed out trying to help you and do their main job. TCare is amazing to help with both of those situations, and then also just really help to make sure you can stay home as long as you can until you do need to move to a facility. So TCare is definitely helping with that. There's definitely examples out there, and they're pretty common, where the caregiver gets so burnt out that a person will be moved into assisted living or nursing home even earlier than they really need to, because the family caregiver is just too burned out to continue. So when you think about it that way, TCare is really super special, and that's available both on our short-term home health care plan and on the Recover Cash plan. Last plan we're chatting about today, super simple. This is a graded final expense plan. Let me share with you where this one sits. If you're in the final expense arena at all, you know there's usually a level final expense plan, which is for your really healthy folks. And it's called level because when you buy it, the amount of base coverage that they purchase is available to them right away if they were to pass away. And then there's graded. That's going to be for some folks that are not as healthy, not be able to attain that level graded final expense plan. or level final expense plan. The graded is super simple. You're buying a certain face amount, and you don't have that full face amount available to you right away. With our plan, after 2 years of having this plan, it's available to you right away. If you pass away in the first year you have it, you get the premium you sent GTL plus a little bit of interest income. If you pass away in the second year that you have it, you get 50% of the face amount. And after your policy is 2 years and 1 day old in force, that's when you have the full amount of benefits waiting for you. Now, there's a third type of final expense that's available called guarantee issue final expense. And as you can imagine, that's more expensive than your level or your graded final expense plans, and you can get it. So who's applying for that? The folks that are really sick. So this graded plan that GTL has, that's all we have. It's the middle of the road, the graded plan, 6 application questions. It's been very popular. We're going into our 7th year with it. It's called the Heritage Plan. If you're picking up on things so far, you're picking up that GTL likes to add a little bit of something that others don't have. What we did with the Heritage graded final expense plan is we have some concierge services built in to the plan. So when the main insured dies, the beneficiary can reach out to Sequoia, who is a concierge that will help them with a bunch of different stuff, really help them to plan the funeral. They get some discounts on some items that they most likely have to purchase in order to conduct the funeral. If they do have something going on where the person needs to be transported from state to state or even out of the country into the U.S., they can assist with that. And when you buy this plan, just the one person that buys it, they can use the Sequoia concierge services for up to 10 family members. So that's kind of the additional things to know. Issue age 50 to 90. How much can you get? 2,500 all the way up to 20,000. We see a lot of $5,000, a lot of $10,000 final expense policies. And again, the underwriting on this one is super simple. There's 6 questions. If you answer them no, you get it. And if you answer any yes, you don't. So that's where this plan fits in. Not for the healthiest, not for the sickest, but if they can get past the 6 questions, which most can, it's a nice cross-sell for you to have. This is the only product we're chatting about today that you would need a life license to sell. All the other ones we chatted about are health chassis. So, you need your health license to sell those, and you need your life license to sell the Heritage Plan. We do have infographics availability for, I love this piece that I'm kind of circling my mouse around. You carry this one piece with you, and you have the QR codes to all the videos that I played for you today, and a QR code to open up the brochure on your tablet or smartphone and work through it with the client. And then we also have some postcards that we can send you the PDF electronic of. So if you wanted to, let's say, take the PDF to a printer and give them your mail list, you could print those out and maybe put your client's phone number on there. GTL doesn't pay for that, but we will send you the PDF of the postcards. In terms of marketing materials, though, everything else with the postcards, you can order what you like. We don't charge for marketing materials whatsoever, and we'll just mail them right to your front doorstep. A little bit about today in terms of, well, what do we do if we want to move on from here? Well, obviously, you're going to work with Dawn and AIM to get contracted with GTL if you're not already. That's easy. But sales support, ready to help you, 800-323-6907. That's the sales support number. Their email address is agency@gtlic.com. And during business hours, you can chat with them at the same 800 number. I always put my email address on there, gspo@gtlic.com. Believe it or not, I'm fielding emails all day long, into the evening, even on the weekends, especially during AEP. It's kind of fun. I love getting an email from agents with a question on a product, or they're in the middle of a sale, help them out. Next thing you know, they're sending in a GTL app, and we got the sale. So that's great. Don't hesitate at all to email me whenever you have a question. Again, I'm at gspo@gtlic.com. And Don, if you got any questions we need to field, happy to do it now, or anything that you'd like to add, let's do it.
No, Didn't see any questions. I mean, you went over good detail on all the products that you guys offer, especially with, the underwriting, the questions. There's not that many for a lot of these. There's guarantee issue windows. There's only 4 questions on
Mhm.
the short-term home health care. So these products are great cross sellers. I mean, just not even cross selling too. If people don't have cancer and you're just asking them about that, just ask them the question, who do they have it with? That's huge. I mean,
Mhm.
just to talk to them and say, and if they don't have it there, I mean, they're like, oh, why should we have it? Or we don't have it. Those are great questions for, starters. And you just never know unless you ask. That's the biggest thing. If you don't ask, you don't know. So, um, but yeah, Greg, appreciate your time coming on today. I know everybody's very busy. I don't have anything really else to say today, but I greatly appreciate you coming on, spending the time with us. I know you're busy as everybody else, and I want everybody to have a happy Thanksgiving, and happy holidays too. So with that, Greg, if you don't have anything else, we're gonna wrap it up.
Just thanks. Appreciate everything you guys are doing. Appreciate the sales, and please just keep us in mind and reach out to us whenever you need us.
Sounds great. We will be reaching out to everybody who's on the call today. If there's any questions, we'll be talking to them. Greg, I'll begin with you later, if we need something. But like I said, appreciate you being here. Everyone have a wonderful day.